members of the group Climate Defiance, they have been doing this type of stuff quite a bit this summer, and they are just making themselves, a nuisance to some of the most powerful people and the most directly responsible for not shutting down fossil fuels, the use of fossil fuels in this country. Now, of course, no one expects it to happen overnight, but the pace in which this is happening needs to be picked up. We're in the midst of record-breaking heat wave. I think Phoenix again is in well above triple digits for what seems to be now well over a month. People are getting literally burned by the pavement or the asphalt.
Right.
In Phoenix. And this is starting to spread, across the country. We're going to get another heat wave. I think it's going to hit us on the East Coast soon as well.
I mean, and of course, Florida temperatures I saw this morning in the ocean over 100 degrees.
Yep. For the second day in a row. And we should say that there is no official sort of records of the heat of the water, and but it's been 2 days in a row, and folks at the University of Miami believe that this is a pretty accurate representation, and this is hot tub level stuff. We'll talk about this. There's a report now, study done by a pair of researchers in Denmark this week. And again, they even will concede that a lot more research needs to be done. But there is a real possibility that a sharp weakening of the Gulf Stream currents or even a shutdown could happen, well, as late as century's end, but as early as in a couple of years, like literally 2025. Supposedly, they were also surprised to see this collapse coming so soon. The last time there was a major slowdown of the world's network of ocean currents that shapes the climate around the North Atlantic, as far as we know, happened like close to 13,000 years ago and plunged Europe into not quite an ice age, but maybe an ice age. I mean, it was a deep cold for over a millennium. There wasn't obviously as many people who had built cities and were living in Europe at that time. But we shall see. The point is that we are in a time of unprecedented climate change, at least for this civilization that we have built. And it's an emergency. And here are some really brave climate activists at Climate Defiance crashing an event that Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo was speaking at.
Time to get out. Stop it! That's a stop! We need clean air, not another billionaire. We need clean air, not another billionaire.
Stop funding fossil fuels! It's the 20-year-old!
And fossil fuels, Gina, and fossil fuels. And fossil fuels, Gina, and fossil fuels.
Guys, if you want to talk later, we can do that.
Why did your administration approve the Alaska LNG project, which does more harm to the climate than Willow? Please don't talk.
Thank you, Madam Secretary.
We need clean air,
not another billionaire. We need clean air, not another billionaire.
You're done. Let it out. You're done. You're done.
If I'm not for the justice lawyer. We love you. We work in justice for you.
What's happening to her friend?
We love you. We work in justice for you.
So there you have it. And I mean, this is a couple of these folks obviously were arrested, went to jail. Don't know what has happened. We'll, I guess, get more information as that comes. This comes on the heel of Greta Thunberg's appearance in a courtroom for her own civil disobedience. And here's just a word that she had to say about that.
As Bradley gets that, I just want to say it's really cool that she is getting even more radical as time goes on in terms of like these disruptions that she's the face of. I mean, she could have just been a figurehead or someone who, because of her fame, drifted into like a corporatized, sanitized version of climate activism, and instead she's gone the opposite direction. So yeah, this was her speaking at a press conference with some of the other activists that I guess this was a disruption they did in Sweden, where she's from.
I would just like to add something that while we are here, and of course other environmental and climate and human rights activists all around the world are facing even worse consequences for their actions of protecting life, as we know it, we must remember who the real criminals are, the ones who are committing the real crime, and that will be true even if we have jailed all climate activists in the world. Because we have truth on our side and we have morality on our side, and that will not change.
Yep. Well said.
He rocks.
So if you have the opportunity to go over and support Climate Defiance, they're doing good work. You can, I think, find them at climatedefiance.org, is it? We'll put that link in the podcast and YouTube descriptions for today.